What up, players? It's WarbossTae up in this mug. Welcome to day number 6 of the February Painting Challenge, the 2021 February Painting Challenge. Hope you're all doing well out there, and check it out. I was able to get all of my base-coated guys washed. Got all their washes done. Agrax Earthshade and some known oil. I might go over the steeds again, the Blood Crusher horses again. Horses. Because the red on their armor plates on the Blood Crushers is going to be too bright and too similar to their riders, and most of the artwork I found shows the Blood Crushers have a little bit of a darker armor, really dark red, and I think I can get that with a couple of layers of known oil. That should separate them from the riders, but for now I'm just pleased to sit back and let these washes dry so that I can move on to the next step, which is going to be painting on the highlights. All right, let's roll the dice to see what daily question we get today. It's the end, just about the end of the first week, and I'm really looking forward to a good one. Here we go. 5, tell a story. Okay, share a story. The time I met Kanye West was I was at my old game shop, Other Realms in Hawaii, in Ward Warehouse, and I was there painting, and it wasn't an organized paint night. It was just the guys at the shop were cool enough to let me bring in some paint and just paint on the countertop. And if anybody wanted to see what was inside, I think that was like the dice section of the counter. So there's like a bunch of different colored dice, different shaped and sizes of the dice, and there wasn't really anything very popular product-wise, so I had a good little spot, and I had my little paint station set up. I was painting an Eldar Warlock, and or a Farseer rather, an Eldar Farseer, and I wanted to do like a galaxy effect on the back of his cape. So I remember painting it black, and I'd seen it done on a White Dwarf or somewhere online, and I thought that's really cool. I want to replicate that with the nebula and the different stars and formations in the sky and stuff. So I was just working and really focused on this cape because I'd already painted the Wraithbone armor. I painted the sword in crystal colors, so different gradients of blue leading up to white to make it look like a reflective piece of crystal. And I'm working on this cape, and I'm really trying to get the purple of like a nebula exploding and spreading out. And I feel this guy just come up behind me, and he's like looking over my shoulder, and he's a short little guy, and he goes, "Oh, yo, man, that's pretty dope, man." And I didn't really look at him because I'm working, right? You know, when you're really focused on trying to get fine detail done, you don't really notice around you. So I think I mumbled like, "Oh, thank you," or something, just like so dumb. And then he was like, "Yeah, what is that?" And I said, "Oh, it's a piece from it's a miniature from a war game, Warhammer." And then this big Caucasian guy next to him was like, "Oh yeah, I remember. I used to collect those when I was a kid. Yeah, this is the game with the gangs in it." And I said, "Oh, Necromunda?" And he said, "Yeah, Necromunda. I used to collect that." Turns out it was Kanye West and his driver. And Kanye West was in this. It was a game store, but it was also a comic store. And he was looking at different artwork, and what he wanted for his album at the time was to find CD covers or comic books or any kind of art by a certain artist that did mainly, I don't remember the name of the artist, but it was like science fiction, heavy metal, where you mix the cybernetic pieces, synthetic android art into, you know, feminine body shapes and forms and stuff. And he was looking for an art book from a certain author, and he had called ahead to see if there were any at this location. And I think whoever talked to him on the phone said, "Well, I'll look around, but you're free to come in because we've got a bunch of different stuff that's kind of in that vein." So Kanye West wanted to come in and check it out. And on his way into the comic section, he stopped by to check out an Eldar Farseer I was painting. And I didn't even know it because I think at the time the only thing he was known for really was running up on stage and taking the microphone from Taylor Swift. I think that was his big claim to fame. He had some other songs out at the time, but there were that was his big, like, oh my gosh. And the George Bush doesn't care about white people or black people thing. I think wasn't that was Kanye West too, right? I don't remember if that was around the same time, but boy, that guy has been steeped in controversy ever since he came onto the scene. Anyway, that's my story. It was, I think, right after they had left, some girls ran in. They're like, "Oh my gosh, was he just here?" And I was like putting down my paints at the time, and I was like, "What's going on? Was there a celebrity here?" And then I think the store owner said like, "Yeah, that's Kanye West." And I said, "Oh, the Taylor Swift guy?" Anyways, man, what a story. It's already 5 minutes, and boy, that was, you know what? That was a trip down memory lane, because that game store, Other Realms, was my hangout place. I used to love going there when I was a kid, and I think that was the only time something really, like a brush with celebrity had ever happened there. Most of the time it was just local guys, and we had a really good military crowd because we have a bunch of military bases on Hawaii, and we had a bunch of guys, really, really cool. Some were not that great, some were a bit prickish, but most of the guys that hung out at Other Realms, that brought their armies in from wherever they were in the continental United States, they were really cool, and they were really fun to hang out with and play games with. So, shout out to old school Other Realms. You guys were the bomb. I believe they had moved since I had moved to a different location, a much bigger store, but there's just something about that hole-in-the-wall hobby store feel that you get from those mom-and-pop owned stores, and yeah, there's nothing like it. I hope they don't go away and become too, franchised and commercialized, because yeah, there's the smell of the comics and that like terrible smell of the boxes of plastic and, and miniatures, and it's just something about it. Oh, I remember they used to have like an Usagi Yojimbo bunny. It was like a stuffed bunny that they had dressed up in the Usagi Yojimbo clothes. What do you call it? The gi, his iconic green and black. And I remember thinking like, I really want to buy that, but they said, "Oh no, that's not for sale. It's just for window decoration." Anyways, before I really get lost down the Usagi Yojimbo rabbit hole of going into my past, I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you are all having a great project day. Sorry, I had to put these guys on the sheet of palette paper that I've been using, because I had just literally finished putting the washes on, and they're starting to drip off the model. I didn't want to put it onto my blue backdrop here and mess it up. So this will be gone by tomorrow, because hopefully the washes will all be dry, and we'll be getting on to the highlights, which is going to probably take me into week 2. And I'm looking at the guys I have to paint for tutorials, and it looks like I will be probably trying to start with the easier ones. I don't know, I might do the Slaughter Priest just because he'll be a fun change, but we'll see. I actually just realized I have 3 regular sized Blood Warriors. The only difference is that one of them is the leader, the champion, one of them's got that glaive, and one of them is just your standard Blood Warrior. So most of the techniques will carry across all 3 models, but if you do have a specific model that you want to paint, then I guess it would be good to have 3 separate tutorials. Why not? Why not? We're getting back in the game. I'm dusting off the old tutorial muscles and taking the old girl out for a spin. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. Going on 9 minutes. That's way too long for a daily update video. Keep following the progress. Check out the Discord. If you'd like to support my studio through Patreon, much appreciated, especially in this crazy project challenge times. And I hope you're having a great day. Paint your minis. We'll see you tomorrow.